So I noticed that you guys really enjoyed my Hoya collection video. This time I decided to bring you guys another collection video, but we're talking about all alocasias. Hi, hello, it's Diane. Welcome, or if you've been here, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for coming back and for your continued support. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Alocasia was actually the first units that I started collecting. I started with an Alocasia Polly after seeing a massive one at the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. And from there, I just got so many different alocasias. I came to learn what spider mites were, and after that learned how difficult it is to care for an alocasia. So with that being said, if you're a beginner, just run away from them. Run away from them. Start with something easier. They're really tough. They're really hard to begin with. The scientific name is Alocasia, but a lot of people know them by elephant ear. They are a flowering plant from the family of Araceae. Not sure how you say that, or in better terms, arums. They usually flower during the spring and summer, but if you have them indoor, they can flower any time of the year, and they can also flower when they're stressed out. There are less than 100 different species, and they're native to Asia and southern Australia. They grow between 2 to 6 inches tall, and their leaves can get between 8 to 35 inches long. Okay, so as far as care and needs, they like a well-draining soil that retains moisture. You can also fertilize them during the growing season as they go dormant during the winter season. This is what they're known for their dormancy period. They do not like cold draft or temperature fluctuations, so steady temperatures between 65 to 85 is ideal for them. As stated previously, they're native to Asia and southern Australia, so that means that they like high humidity. You can increase the humidity by either placing a humidifier next to them, or I don't know if this works, but I've read a lot of information online. Also, I've heard from other people that placing a pebble tray with water or misting your plant can also help. Not sure if that's true or not, but you have different options out there in order for you to boost your humidity. And based on the internet and other people out there, you should water your plant when in soil once the 2 top inches is completely dry to the touch. I can't say because I don't have any of my alocasias in soil. They're mainly in semi-hydro. So usually I fill the reservoir once the reservoir has been empty for a day or so. As far as lighting, they thrive in bright and direct light, but they can tolerate medium light. The only thing is that most likely their growth is going to be impacted. Also, do not place them in direct sunlight because this can scorch their leaves. And lastly, inspect your alocasias for any pests. They're prone to spider mites, but they can also be affected by mealies and scale. So I decided to make this video a little bit different than my Hoya collection video. I will be showing you them in difficulty order. Well, difficulty based on my experience. So I have 10 different species, number 10 being the most difficult one and number 1 being the easiest. All right, let's get this show started. So my number 10 and my number 9 were fighting between which is the most troublesome one, but my number 10 is Alocasia Tandurosa, or better known as Jacklyn. So I actually had a different Jacklyn in my collection. With the first one, I unfortunately lost her because I left her in the soil that she came in, and it ended up croaking on me about 2 to 3 months after the purchase. With this one, once I purchased her, I automatically transfer her into water, and I'm actually waiting for her to grow water roots so that I can transfer her into a semi-hydro experiment that I'm doing. And I actually took inspiration from John Sidney Plant Guy. Her leaves are very unique. Her foliage is different from any other alocasia in my collection, and it is very textury. Feels like a piece of Velcro. Not sure if you guys can hear it. But the back of her leaves are like a deep burgundy, and the venation is also very pronounced. Another unique factor about this plant is the pattern on the petioles. They look like wood, very cool. And it's actually coming at number 10 because it is a really hard alocasia to keep happy. It usually puts out like one leaf every couple of months. I purchased this one on June 11th, and since then she has just been establishing the root system and has not given me any leaf. I did plug a corm that has done absolutely nothing for me, but I will say that she is one of like the toughest alocasias that I have in my collection. So, coming at number 10 is my Alocasia Tandurosa or Alocasia Jacklyn. Okay, so next is my Alocasia Melo. So this one is very similar to the Maharani, but I feel like this one is more textured, and also the leaves on this one are more rounder and compact. It is a very textured plant with venations to the top of her leaves. And unlike the Maharani, this one does not have the purple backs. So the Melo is coming at number 9 because although this is my mother plant, she is still very juvenile. She grows super slow, and every time she puts out a new leaf, she drops one. I actually have 2 plants in this pot, and for some reason I just can't get them to have more than 2 leaves at a time, meaning 1 in each plant. Also, when I transfer her into semi-hydro, I was not able to find any corms. I haven't tried to fish any corms after the transfer, but I feel that if she was with child, I most likely would have seen something sprouting, and from the looks of it, nothing has come out yet. Her root system is great, and she lives in my cabinet, but other than that, once again, the last leaf that she gave me on this plant right here was this one. And if you guys can see, this one is starting to yellow off. She's ready to lose it. So I don't know what to do with this plant. It's kind of tricky to keep her happy. Okay, so next is my Alocasia Dragon Scale. And this one has that elephant ear shape to her. It's completely green with the venation a little bit darker, more of a black look to them in my opinion. And as the name says it has a dragon scale resemblance. The back of her leaves have the red venation, which is really cool. That is something that I really like about some alocasias. So this one is actually coming at number 8 because my mother plant was massive. She ended up croaking. I had her in soil and didn't transfer her in time. By the time I decided to transfer her, she was already croaking. So at the end, she ended up. So from that massive plant, I was able to save only 1 corm, which is insane, because she was a very established plant already. So I would have thought that she would have more corms, but no. She has grown a little bit more on the slower side, and as you guys can see, the size have not increased. She has put up 2 new pups, which are right here. I will give her that. She has put out 2 new pups, and she has also held to most of her leaves. If I'm not mistaken, I think she dropped the first leaves that she put out. But she does grow kind of leggy though. She also lives in my cabinet, and this one doesn't have a very robust root system, as you guys can see. Okay, so coming on number 7 is my Alocasia Polly. I know. So the Polly has waxy leaves. They're dark with a silver venation, and the back of the leaves are purple or burgundy. Her side edges have a roughly weird shape to them, and the shape of the leaves are more elongated, like the Jacklyn. Now, this is considered one of the easiest alocasias out there, and it probably is, just not in my care, and that's the reason why I'm actually putting her at number 7. My mother plant croaked, but I was able to save corms, lots of them, but many of them did not make it. I have a couple missorted pots, which I think most of the plants in those pots are poly, but they're just too small for me to know for sure if they are. Coming at number 7, my Alocasia Polly. So my number 6 is my Alocasia Heterophylla, or better known as the Dragon's Breath. So the dragon's breath has a leathery leaf. The leaves are more elongated. Out of all the alocasias that I have in my collection, I feel the dragon's breath has the most elongated leaf, and just like the other, it is full of venation. You can also see the venation on the back of the leaves. This one also has a really long petiole, and just like the Jacklyn, it has the weird rustic woody look to them. So coming at number 6 is my mother plant. This is actually my mother plant. I was able to save this one. I removed about 4 corms when I transfer her. She was inside my cabinet, but she was only there for like a month, and then I had to transfer her out because she grew too tall. As you guys can see, she does grow quite leggy. And after I transferred her and removed her out of the cabinet, she did struggle quite a bit. She gave me this wonky leaf, and she put out about 3 flowers. And just recently, she gave me this massive long leaf. And then she put out this one, which is a lot smaller than the previous one. But I don't know. She's kind of difficult. So her baby corms are actually doing pretty good. I just want to show you guys the root system. It's not the most robust. She does need a water. So this is what I say when I usually wait like a day or two before I fill her reservoir. As you guys can see, she is dried. She needs a water. But let me just give her water so that you guys can actually see the root system. I don't know if you guys are able to see, but there's a couple roots inside. They look pretty good, pretty healthy. They're just not that robust. So maybe that's the reason why she's taken a really long time to either size up or give me more leaves. She's looking very leggy though, and that's something I'm not really a big fan of that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Now my last 5s are a little bit harder for me to rank, but we're gonna do it. Okay, so coming at number 5 is my Alocasia Maharani. This one also has textured leaves. Her leaves are dark with a silver venation. The back of her leaves have that purple look to them, which I truly love. And she can also grow kind of leggy, unlike the Melo that it's a bit more compact. She is coming at number 5 because sometimes she does get stuck holding X amount of leaf for longer of time. For example, my mother plant held 2 leaves for about 4 or 5 months after she decided to hold 3. And yes, this is actually my mother plant, and these are all her babies. Well, there is about 7 plants in this pot, so she kind of looks very full and lush, but it's only because there's 7 plants in here. Each plant has, well, I see one that has 3 leaves, but most of them have 2. I also believe that I have one more plant in my cabinet that's Maharani, but once again, she is at a very juvenile stage, and I can't tell for sure if she's a Maharani. I recently took this one out of my cabinet. I want to say about 2 to 3 weeks ago because she grew too tall for the cabinet, and she is sitting right beside Mama. Hopefully she does well in room humidity. Oh, and just to show you guys her root system, she is growing a ton. Look at that root system. It's so robust. She is probably going to need a repot soon, just not for now. Not for now. Oh, I can see a corm right there. Can you guys see it? She has a corm right there. Oh, and she's also sprouting a corm on top. Oh no, she has multiple corms. These are very tiny. I'm not even sure if you guys are going to be able to see it. But look, there's one right in there. Right in there. That is so freaking cool. I just noticed that. Okay, so coming at number 4 is my Alocasia Black Velvet. The leaves on this one are very dark with a very light green venation to them. She is also textured, but her leaves, unlike the other one, they're not waxy or leathery. They are velvety. The back of her leaves have that purple or burgundy look to them, and you can also see the venation through the back. My black velvet is unfortunately number 4 on my list because I did lose my mother plant, which I took all these babies corms out of her. I was able to save 5 corms from her, but I only have 4 in here because I ended up giving my mother-in-law one. But as far as like propagating corms, I feel that between the Maharani and the black velvet are the most easiest one to propagate or to grow corms. My sister actually gifted me this plant back in April for my birthday, and I immediately transferred her into this experiment. This is the one that I was talking to you guys about. So I have a reservoir of Lega at the bottom, and she is in sphagnum moss. When I transferred this one, I did remove about 5 corms out of her and left about 3 of them. As you guys can see, one of the corms did sprout, but the other corms are still at a very juvenile stage. They only have 1 leaf each, and they are still in perlite. So just to give you guys a close-up look of the root system on this one, she's doing amazing though. She only dropped 1 leaf when I transfer her, and that leaf was already on her way out. But look at the latest leaf. It's massive compared to the other ones. And then the babies from the first mother plant, I can see that she has a corm right there. This is the root system in one of them, and then this is the root system on the other one. This one has a pretty long root right there. But coming at number 4, my Alocasia black velvet. Oh, this one needs water too. But coming at number 4 is my Alocasia Cuprea. Cuprea leaves are stunning. If you haven't seen one in person, then you definitely need to go to the store and check one out. They're stunning. She has that alien weird look to her leaves. When the new leaves emerge, they look coppery, which fades after time, after it hardens off. As the plant gets older, she starts losing that coppery look even when the leaves are unfurling. But she is a stunning plant. The back of her leaves are purple or burgundy, and she also has very long petioles. So she is actually coming in number 3. I could have easily put this one as my number 1, but I decided to put this one as my number 3. I bought this plant off the clearance rack at Lowe's, which there was nothing wrong with this plant. Once I purchased her, I immediately transferred her into pond. She lost 1 leaf, which is it was expected, but she only lost 1 leaf. She did have 3 leaves, and she is holding on to 4 leaves at a time. I had her in my cabinet for about a month and a half, 2 months at most. But as you guys can see, she kind of grows leggy, so I had to take her out of the cabinet, and she's been doing amazing in room humidity. Okay, it is super hot. I don't even know what's the temperature. So it's saying that it's 80 degrees, and it's only 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 8 in the morning. Yeah, inside my house feels 84. I saw the thermostat. It's been so freaking hot this summer. Yesterday was almost 100 degrees, but I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Coming at number 2. It's my Alocasia Silver Dragon. Her name pretty much explains her foliage. She is silvery green with dark venation that resembles a dragon scale. The back of her leaves have that burgundy venation. Once again, I really love that about a couple of Alocasias. And she is actually coming nice and strong at number 2. This is my mother plant, and as you guys can see, I have 2 plants in here. There were about 5 plants in the pot, which only these 2 survive. She did struggle quite a bit once I transfer her. Her root system still kept on rotting. So I eventually ended up chopping the whole thing left the rhinestone with a couple of leaves and just plucked that in water, and eventually she did started rooting for me. And that's when she was a little bit more stable. That's when I went ahead and transferred her into pond. But she's a trooper. She gives me about a leaf every month, I want to say, and she really doesn't require much from me. Unlike the dragon scale, the growth pattern on this one is more compact, and I feel 100% feel that the silver dragon is a lot easier to care for than the dragon scale. And she is still living inside my cabinet. She's gonna stay there until she grows out of it. For now, I do not want to take her out of there, but she's living her best life in my cabinet. And she's ready to push out another leaf. All right, and lastly is my Alocasia pink dragon. She is coming in number one because I feel that out of all the alocasias that I have in my collection, she is the most easiest one. As you guys can see, she is a large leaf alocasia. She has that leathery feel, and the venation is not as pronounced as the other alocasias, but it's still there. The back of her leaves are purple burgundy and the petioles are pink. They also have like that woody look to them, and she is coming at number one in my list because once again she is so easygoing. So when this is actually the baby, this is not my mother plant, but the mother plant was one of the ones that lasted while being in soil. I found like two, three corms when I was transferring her, but unfortunately mother plant just ended up croaking on me. This specific plant has put out 4 leaves, in which the first one ended up yellowing off and falling off, which is completely normal. But this alocasia is still thriving in my cabinet. She is ready to come out of the cabinet, and I also have to do something with her because as you guys can see, she actually tipped over yesterday. I took her out of the cabinet, placed her in my Mel's bowl cabinet because I was planning on filming this video yesterday, but it was just so hot that I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait for it tomorrow. And it was windy and the wind knocked her down. So yeah, I gotta make sure that before I even take her out of the cabinet, I have to look at this. She only has that long root, but this is my Alocasia pink dragon. I actually want the variegated one. I'm dying for a variegated pink dragon. But yes, coming at number one, my pink dragon. All right, so we have made it to the end of today's video. Like always, do all the nice things down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Please ring the notification bell so that YouTube notifies you every time I upload a new video. New videos are every Sunday at 3 p.m. EST time. And until the next time, bye.